friends, it's Jenny, and I've got a lot of black on my mat right now. I am going to admit right now, I can be a little bit of a procrastinator, and today is the last day over in the Gemstone Orphanage Facebook group to submit for the current stash challenge, which the first week was to make something blue, and so I used my Azul design right here to submit for that. And the second week is to make something black. So something blue, something black, because black is Steve's favorite. He loves Onyx. And so I have had a bit of a week. I'll put it that way. Not everything has gone according to plan. I am playing a little bit of catch up. And one of those things is making something for my something black. And so I am going to make a necklace and earring set featuring a lot of the beads that were from that 50th anniversary, collection, including these etched onyx right here that have this kind of, I think it's actually a pentagonal pattern, maybe slightly square, but it has those kind of angular lines etched into it. And I have from my stash this pressed glass hexagon pendant that I thought would play really well off those lines. And so I plan on using some of those, and yes, as well as some more of these rice beads that have the crackle silver and the black. Get this turned so you can see. Oh, you can see that one. That one's right up. I used one of these in my other pendant as the top bead, and I am going to use that again today. I'm going to do a slight variation on my double beaded loop bail. It's my new favorite thing, and so I'm playing with it. I'm playing with ideas, and so I'm going to be using that. I'm also using some of these spacers that were included in that collection. And then because I think they play really well with those same like lines and angularity, I've got these spacers from my stash, as well as just some simple round spacers that we need to make this work in the right kind of dimensions. I also have, while I get to the stringing portion, if it feels appropriate, I've got these black cathedral beads, these check glass cathedral beads that I love. Their tone is not quite as bright silver where the cathedral finish is. And so it might look a little odd, but I'm probably going to test it on my wire. Speaking of my wire, I am going to be using the Soft Flex Medium in the black onyx color. Feels super appropriate. In addition to that, I'm going to be using my Casual Comfort pliers and my magical crimper, as well as Soft Flex 2x2 crimp tubes when we get to finishing. I haven't actually decided on the clasp, but chances are I'm going to choose another magnet. It's kind of my go-to if I don't have a strong inclination towards a particular clasp. That's actually what I will usually go for. So, I guess let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Soft Flex, and I'm going to want to make sure that I've got enough for the length that I want, plus a good, because we're going to be making the bail as well as crimping at the end, a good 4 to 5 inches beyond on each side. So we've got plenty of wire to work with because you don't want to end up short. So I am making this a little bit longer than usual, and I can always cut off the excess wire and use it for something else. Scrap wire is something that can definitely be used. I often use it to test ideas, actually. I grab a piece of scrap and I'm like, okay, how does this work? And go from there. So I have cut, it's about 2 inches past double my mat. I don't know how many inches my mat is. It might be 12, but I think it's longer. I think it's longer than 12. I don't know. I have it flipped the other way, so I don't have any kind of sizing on it. Sorry, but you're gonna wanna choose it for the length that you wanna make. Just make sure that you give yourself that extra room so that you can do this. So just like the other times when we did a double beaded bail loop, we are going to be working from the center because we're actually gonna have a fixed point here in the center with the pendant. And just like when we did it on the blue stone, we are choosing an odd number of beads to be the front of that veil. And this time I'm doing something a little bit different. I decided that I want to try to do a pattern rather than just doing seed beads, which is what I've done so far, or the same spacer bead, which you can absolutely do. I want to do a pattern. So I'm using one of my round spacer beads, one of these lined spacer beads right here, and then another round spacer bead. I don't have a lot of distance to cover for this. Like you can see the placement of that hole is just in that top triangle in the faceting. So it doesn't need a whole lot of space. What I'm doing is I'm just making the space to kind of give it a look. And I probably wouldn't do this if I was using a stone that had a lot of features that I wanted to showcase. I would choose something that would more highlight rather than be the same. But this is, it's just solid black, which is fine. But it also, because this is solid black, it gives me the opportunity to do something a little fancier. So I've got those three on that side. And then my fourth bead is this same crackle rice bead. And then I just repeat again, the small round, the lined spacer, and the small round. And I'm gonna show you, so this is what you are stringing on your string. Whatever you choose for your middle bead, so this is an odd number, 3, 4, and then another 3 for 7. Whatever you're using in the middle, you do need to make sure that your wire will go through it 3 times. The first time on the strand like this, and then we're going to cross both strands through it to tighten up and finish the bail. So just dropping that down to the middle of the strand. And just evening it out as close as possible because I am going to be stringing on both sides of this necklace. And then taking both ends of the wire. It's hard to see because it's black against black, but I'm just sending both through the wire at the same time through that hole, and then pulling this taut so that our little pattern of beads shows up right here, okay? So then you're going to take on either side, so on each strand, you're going to repeat that same pattern we had at the front. So I'm going to go with the small round, the lined spacer, and then the small round. And I'm just going to hold that in place with my finger while I put the same beads on the other side. So here I'm holding it in place. Sorry, I was holding it close to my body because that's what you do when you want to protect things and have them not like fall apart on you. But I realized that that was off screen. So I have repositioned. I apologize if that bothered you. So then I've got the remaining 3 on this side as well. Okay, so this is what we've got now. So we've got our front, which is these first 7 beads, and then we've got 6 beads on the back, 3 on each strand. And I'm gonna take one strand and I'm gonna send it through this top bead, my decorative top bead. Make sure you don't accidentally go through the spacer on the other side. And then tug that, you know, a little bit so it's in place. And then where this strand is coming out, you're going to be sending your other strand through. Again, this same, and this is going to feel a little bit tight. Don't force it, but you might need a little sternness. And then pulling that tight. And so then when you pull both sides like this, you've got your decorative double beaded bail, double beaded loop bail. It loops in the front and the back. And I have this positioned so that my sparkly part is forward. It is tight enough that I have room to, it's not going to free twist, but there is enough give that I can position it how I want it. So I can make sure that it's facing the way I want it, and I want the shiny part forward. And see how that just like gave this gorgeous crown to this pendant? I love that. I love that. So I'm going to use a bead stop. Get one out of my package here. I'm going to use a bead stop to hold one side while I string the other. Now this is where I haven't planned out or tested exactly what I'm doing for this pattern, but I know where I want to start. Usually when I've completed one of these double beaded loop bales, I'll use at least one of whatever bead is right up against that decorative bead to give it a more finished look. So then this bead snugs right in here. Do you see that? So this is, when I'm stringing, I'm going to start with one of those small round beads because it just helps to finish off that bale. And then I'm going to start just kind of playing with and auditioning what do I like on my strand. So I want to try, I do really like these black pressed glass bicones. Pretty sure they're bicones. They look like bicones. But they're not sharp, which I can appreciate. I want to use those because, again, those angular, we kind of joked about, there was a live a couple of weeks ago where I said angular movement and everybody thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So it reemphasizes that angular movement, but I am making sure that I also incorporate some nice round aspects of it. I currently have my beads, especially my special beads, divided into right and left so that I don't accidentally use something that I can't repeat later. So far, I am really liking what I've put on my strand. This is a great start, I feel like. It has one of the larger diameter, the 8mm of these etched onyx. And I think that's fun. Now these ones are going to kind of free flow, so sometimes they'll show half, sometimes they'll show sparkly, sometimes they'll show black, but I kind of want that not so rigid aspect of those. So in fact, I'm going to, because I do have more of these guys, I'm not going to be shy about using these guys because I like them. So I'm adding in a rice bead and doing this whole thing. And then I used the larger of these kind of spaceship spacers next to the 8mm. I'm going to use the smaller spaceship spacers. I don't know what they're actually called. I'm sure I've got it in my list, but I haven't pulled out my list. Next to these 6mm etched beads. I am liking this. I am liking this a lot. This is making me happy. This is making me super happy. So ignore this big chunky red dude. Like here we are with the, sorry, a little bit of a wobble. So you can see we're kind of graduating into smaller. So we're gonna have an 8mm and two 6mm on each side of our pendant. And using these other combinations of beads to kind of give them space so that they can each have their moment, but also some variation. I like that I'm not just using the same type of spacers. I have the more elongated, striped, lined spacers to just add some more visual interest. And I'm really liking that. Loving these bicones. I did raid, I think I'm liking this, and it's too crisp to add in the cathedral beads because I did say I would audition it. Let's see what those cathedral beads look like with the rest of these. I think they belong on something else. I will use those at another time. I did steal the cathedral beads and my black bicones over here from a little inspiration box I put together. My mom wanted to make red and black jewelry while she was here. We totally didn't, but that's okay. That is okay. We did other things instead. We had a lot of fun. We made sea turtles, and I made some kitty cat jewelry for her that she picked out the components that she loved. Okay, so that finishes the last of the etched on this side of the necklace. So all of those are going to be fairly close to the front and center. So now I'm going to be working more on what will go up along the side and around the back of this necklace. And I have some beads set aside for making earrings after as well. We'll see. So this kind of repeats the pattern. And then what I'm gonna do from here is I feel like I want to group up more of these black bicones to kind of fill that visual space on either side, like as we continue on. So not exactly color blocking, but definitely repeating. So we're starting to do this now with one of these spacers in between. And I have more of these in a package nearby, so I'm not worried about running out of those or running out of the bicones. I feel like I've got plenty of both of those items. I am going to use some more of these guys because I have them. Just putting some variation in there. But I like the flash. I like the fun. Having a, where can I not find? You have a hole. I swear you have a hole. Where is finding the hole on a faceted black bead? I can't find the hole on that. I'm just gonna move on. There's the hole. Just something black that can very easily go with, it can go with so much. It's so versatile and can be a real delight to wear, just a standard part of your repertoire, so to speak. I have some more plans for this box, by the way. I'm not sure which week it's going to be, but soon I will have a bracelet trio using this box, this collection, the 50th anniversary collection from Gemstone Orphanage. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm planning on using the graduated strands in both the lapis lazuli and the onyx. I already used half of the onyx, but I only need half. Oh, my spacers are getting mixed up. I should probably check the length. I still feel like this needs a little bit more, but I should get an idea if I'm drawing close, if I need to alter my pattern, because I do only have 2 more of these rice beads. I've got 8 for each side, and I've already put on, yeah, I've already put on 6, not counting the one in the focal. That was separate. All right, just checking, making sure I haven't gone overly long. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna finish with these 2. Like I said, I'm making this one a little bit longer than I usually wear, but that's intentional. I want to vary my length a little bit. A little bit longer means that it will go with some different necklines as well, compared to what else I typically wear. Oh, I forgot a line spacer bead. Who saw that? Who saw that? I know someone did. Had to have. It's very satisfying to use up all of a bead. And that's why I want to have the varied length, but it feels very satisfying knowing that I'm going to use all of these crystal crackly rice beads that I have set aside, because I really enjoy those beads. I've enjoyed using them as decorative beads in my veils, but also just along this necklace as well. That's the last one for that side. I'm gonna get another section Yeah, that should be just about perfect. Because remember I said I was leaving myself about 4 to 5 inches on the end. That's almost what I've got left right here. Yeah. Yep. I'm happy with this. And then I'm going to finish with one of these small round spacers before my crimp tube. All right. I love that. I love that. This is what the kind of look I was going for. There's a lot of like sparkle from the silver, but this is a black necklace. This is definitely a black necklace and celebrates that. The silver is just the bling that the black is wearing. Get a couple of crimp tubes out. Got out more than I need. That's okay. I will put them away after. So I'm just sliding the crimp tube onto my wire and doubling back through it so that I can make a loop. And I need this to fit snugly because I do have a fixed point for the middle of my necklace. So I do need to make sure that I crimp where these beads are. If you've never used a magical crimper before, it is meant to be used on 0.018 to 0.019 wire. The medium soft flex is 0.019, so it's perfect for that. And there is inside the jaw this spherical concavity that you are basically going to be making a little ball out of your crimp tube using that. You want to make sure that it is centered and that you have good clearance to your closest bead so that you're not going to break that bead. But just right now I'm not squeezing, I'm just holding it so that I can adjust the size of my loop. As long as that is centered, double check that it's centered if you've made any kind of adjustments, because you know, that's bit me before. It could bite you too. All right, make sure it's centered. Hard to tell with the black beading wire. And then once it's centered, just press, okay? And then what happens is it pinches down the 4 corners of that tube and makes what's a little ravioli. So you take that ravioli and you put it straight up and down, so 90 degrees from where you just were, and give it another little squish, okay? And then from there, you just keep opening your jaws just a little bit so you can keep it nice and centered and rotating this guy. Anytime that it's a little bit longer one direction or the other, then you go ahead and just squeeze it. And after just a few presses, or however many as you need to get what you need, you end up with this shiny little smooth ball of crimp. So that's very easy. I'm gonna go ahead and just feed this back through a few of my beads. I should have done it before I crimped, but I do have a little bit of give, which I want a little bit of give on these so that I don't have a stiff necklace. Oh, I don't think I'll go back through the bicone. I'm just gonna go back through this one spacer bead then. And then snip it off. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. And then just use your flesh cutters and snip that guy off, the excess wire. And really, I only have maybe touch more than 2 inches here, 2.5 maybe. And that, like I said, that still is a valuable length of scrap wire, so it is not wasted. So I'm just gonna take off my bead stop, which I only kept that on there so I could make sure I maintained the tension on this, because until it's crimped, it could kind of work itself loose while you're stringing the other side, and I didn't want it to do that. I didn't have anything that was actively just gonna fall off. But I did want it to, I wanted the bail to maintain its integrity. So now I'm just gonna repeat what I did before, and since I've already figured out what I'm doing, this side should go a little bit more quickly. as long as I can find the hole in these bicones. And then these are the beads I set aside for this side of the necklace. So I might accidentally pull from this side, but these ones, this side's already been done, so it doesn't matter if I grab from over here. But I'm definitely getting my 8mm etched guy in here. And this is a good thing I have this other side to look at, just to make sure that I am following the pattern the way I decided. I like a symmetrical necklace. I don't mind, and I have designed things that were intentionally asymmetrical, but I don't like a surprise asymmetrical necklace where I've made a mistake. So I am checking as I go to make sure I didn't make a mistake. And then before I crimp, I am also going to line the strands up and make sure that they're the same on both sides. Just one of those little checks that I do. If I can hold on to my spacers long enough to get them on the strand. No, not those, these guys. And I'm going to do, my earrings today are going to be pretty simple. I plan on just using a ball pin and stringing some of my favorite beads from this onto it until it looks right, and then attaching that to an ear wire. I'm not going to be doing anything fancy. I did fancy earrings earlier already this week. These ones are just a little bit of icing on the rest of this. The necklace is meant to be the star, and I think it is. I think it's beautiful. I love these beads. I love this. Debbie is so talented curating this. She really found some beautiful things to go in this collection, and I love it. So it is Friday afternoon for me right now. I'm not sure what time this will post. Hopefully tonight, might be tomorrow. My husband's had kind of a week too, and so I don't want to demand bandwidth for uploading this if he's got things that he would rather be doing. So I can record just fine while he's working on other things, but if he needs to relax with a video game, it takes my videos about 3 times as long to upload. And so I will sometimes ask him to take a break so that I can get something uploaded in a fraction of the time. And he's been a really good sport about that. But he's, like I said, he's had a bit of a week too. So I don't want him to feel like he can't take that time. Okay, so far so good. So this is the first part of the design before I stopped using the etched beads. So right now my design lines up both sides through the etched bead portion, and now I'm doing the part where I did triple bicones for kind of in that space where we were having the etched beads before. Which I felt like was a really nice, smooth transition. Kind of followed that same kind of graduated look. A few of these spacers don't have clear holes. I need to get a tool that I can use, an awl or a bead reamer, to clear those out, but I have plenty right now, so I'm just, if it has a blocked hole, I'm just moving on and grabbing another bead. I've set aside just 2 out of all the ones that I've used so far today. I've only had to set aside 2 that had blocked holes. Because no one has time to mess with blocked holes, do we? No, we probably do. But yeah, okay. I'm just double checking that I'm not missing key things. There are parts of this that I divided up the special beads, but I'm not actually using all of them. Like these kind of spaceship spacers, which is great because I might use these in that bracelet trio because I've still got that coming. I think that could be really cute, actually. I might have to use them. I have ideas. I have so many ideas. We'll see what works out when I'm doing that one. But I've been planning that, the bracelet trio for this for weeks. Just haven't put it together yet. They do take a little bit of time. They take sometimes some preparation. That was another one with a blocked hole. But I like the idea of making something that's fun, just stacking all the bracelets together, but that can also be worn as a choker or an asymmetrical necklace, and just kind of gives you some of that versatility. Like, how do you want to wear it today? You know? Okay, I need to get out, how many more of those? 3 more of my lined spacers. Let me just line this up just to make sure that I'm where I think I am. I am where I think I am. I have made no mistakes so far. Get out 3 more of these lined spacers because I had the exact number of spacers I needed, but 3 of them had blocked holes. So, not my fault. I actually perfectly planned that. I didn't plan it. I perfectly poured that. It was in 2 pours. There was the first one where I was still kind of playing with ideas, and then the second pour when I knew I needed more. That second pour would have been exactly right. Oh, I am loving this. I am loving this. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm really happy with it, and it is my necklace, so I guess that's what matters most, but it's fun, it's fancy, and I think that's doing pretty good for taking just a simple hexagon-shaped pressed glass pendant and turning it into something more. All right, round spacer, and we're gonna crimp the other side. I did demonstrate on the front half, so I'm not gonna talk through using this crimper again. If you wanna see that again, go ahead and rewatch it at the beginning. Well, it'll rather be more the middle of the video when I just did it before. But I am still gonna do it on screen, so you can watch me do it. I just won't be talking through it. It is hot. We are under heat advisory right now, and I'm feeling it. I don't normally feel it. We keep our house fairly cool. We are lucky and blessed that we are able to do so. But it's definitely hot. Hot. So I am going to be glad when we get into the cooler weather. I prefer cooler weather. I would much rather put on layers than feel like I can't take off any more clothes and still be decent. You know what I mean? Like, snuggle me up in a blanket with a good book, and I am a happy girl. So, all right, I think that's good. Yes. And you see, if you have it centered and you got it right, you can get it in like 4 presses. I usually do a couple more just to make sure it's how I want it. I forgot to put this through that spacer bead again. But just to be consistent with the other side, I am going to go ahead and do that again. The hole on those bicones is not big enough to use it though. So just a little tug. Get that. Oh, he's being stubborn. There we go. And a snip. So this is my necklace. Let's grab my magnetic clasps. And I am probably just gonna do something simple. Maybe just a simple round. I have a number of clasps. I probably am just going to do one of these simple rounds right here. And it is meant to be able to be attached to a necklace, whether you make jewelry or not, to just add a magnetic attachment. But I'm not using it that way, so I am taking off the lobster claw and the whole loop that they have here. But it's a magnet. It doesn't have prongs, but it does have a recessed circle that sets in and makes that feel secure. These are some nickel-free ones that I got from Amazon, and I have included their link before when I did an unboxing. The first Jenny bead haul, if you want to go back and look at it. Hopefully I remember to add that to the description. Oh, and usually I leave them attached to each other when I'm trying to work with my pliers. Otherwise, they just become way too difficult. So I'm just removing the bits I don't need and then using those attached jump rings to attach it to my beading wire. Come on. It's just stubborn. Here we go. That probably took longer than it needed to. And then I dropped it. I blame the magnet. It's messing me up. Okay. Magnet is off because it wants to be. And I'm just putting on, I have the jump ring. That's okay. I have the jump ring. The magnet took itself off because it was being stubborn. And I'm just reattaching it right here. I'm going to open that a little bit more. These are good solid jump rings. Like they take a little oomph to open. I have other ones that open more easily, but that means these are nice and sturdy. And I think that they will hold up to the job. Just getting it sure that it's lined up. A little smoosh to make absolute sure. And then we take off our lobster clasp. Wish I could actually just attach this lobster clasp to the other side, but I've already started. I don't want to finish. I want to do this the way I said I was doing it. Take that off and put this. Since the pendant and the bail are the same front to back, it really doesn't matter which side any of this is on. In fact, my clasp is universal. It can go either direction. The pendant, the bail, everything. So none of that mattered what direction we put things on, just that we attach some to both. Ah! Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me get out my ball pins. And let's see if we can stack up. I'm going to shift this up just a little bit out of way because I know we don't want to have too many focus issues, but I do expect the earrings to be pretty quick. I'm just going to use a couple of these pins. Those are fairly straight. And I can just smooth them out a little bit. And these are the things I set aside. Some of them we might use, we might not use. I don't know. But I thought I would start with one of the bicones, because we've got that little silver ball on the end, so I wanted to put the black right up against it. And then I think I want to do one of those guys. Oh, and I have more of those. I didn't use all of those, so I might actually use, let's see if I have room to use them the way I'm currently thinking of doing it. So, oh, no, wrong order. So what I'm thinking of doing is like this. So we've got the etched 6mm and then the rice bead. I do have room, barely, but I have room. Look at that. Uses all the favorite bits and pieces from this. It does mean it's going to be less of a jangle, more of a sway for this necklace, because I don't have it as separate links. Just one big long link, but I kind of did that with the blue one anyway, so I feel like this fits. I'm gonna flush cut this because, well, let me bend it over. This is a strong enough pin that I can do a simple loop. So I'm going to bend that over, flush cut the extra away. And then I am taking my round nose pliers, which are still in my case. Apologies. Thought I had them out, but I didn't. And you're just going to take it right here, line that up here. I like smaller loops when I can do them, and so I'm going to do it here, and I'm just going to make sure that that's pinched between them after I bent it over, and I'm just going to roll that towards myself and just keep rolling. What I'm doing is opening very slightly the jaw. That wasn't quite tight enough, until it comes back and meets the body of that pin, and then you've got a little loop. And then that needs just a little bit more. And then you swing that guy open. I got ear wires, ear wires, ear wires. I got the bag, but didn't get them out of the bag. And these are just sterling silver ear wires. Kind of my go-to. I'm running low. I have other ear wires, but I'm like, oh, I have plenty of these, so I haven't really been looking for more of that type of ear wire, and I will need to get some more before too long. I'm just going to swing that open, get the ear wire on. Again, none of this is any specific direction. That rice bead's the only thing that has sides, but it rotates and it spins, so I'm not worrying about that either. And then I am just making sure that this is closed as close as possible so that my ear wire doesn't slip through that loop. There is one ear wire. And now that I figured out what order I want it, this next one is going to be super easy to stack. We'll move a few things out of the way and get a nice last look at this set. I am really happy with how this came together, and being able to really utilize these etched onyx beads that honestly Steve loved these. So like he just thought they were the coolest thing, and so they ended up in the box, and I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to use them, and so this ended up being the absolute perfect solution with this black set that I really, really like. I really like this one a lot. So I'm just, again, bending over, snipping off. And rolling it towards me. A little smush also helps to work harden that loop so it holds better upon use. And then swing this guy open. And my other ear wire. Swing it closed. And just tiny adjustment just to make sure that that is metal right up against metal, because this is fairly thin gauge for the loop on the ear wire. I don't want it to slide through. So easy enough to move these extra beads off to the side, get my tools out of the way, and bring this beauty down. I love this. I do. I love this. This makes me really happy, and I feel like it's a good partner to the blue necklace that I made. It's a very good partner to that. I think that's a lot of fun. I think that's a lot of fun. And I think I did it. I think I have completed the challenge for something black, and I'm gonna get this video uploaded soon. You might see a sneak preview if you are on the Gemstone Orphanage Facebook group. You may have already seen this, because I'm going to go ahead and post that picture, because I know Chrissy's waiting for my entry. But I just love it. I just love it. This makes me happy. This makes me very happy. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit like, ring the bell so that you know when we have new videos, and leave a comment so that you can be, you're already part of our beading community. May as well say hi. And in the meantime, happy beading, and don't forget to play. Bye.